I make him an offer he can't refuse.
Hey there, everybody! Welcome to the 99th episode of Gone with the Wind. You know what that means. Cue the music. Welcome to the 99th episode of Gone with the Wind, the show about award shows where we talk about, you guessed it, award shows. And the 99th episode is here. And it's kind of befitting that it is coinciding with our Oscar predictions. I literally got off work not too long ago, and we are going to be here going through these predictions for the next 2 hours. I have written them down, but I am not alone today here. Of course, I'm your host, Manning Franks, but I have a panel here, a regular panel. We have Dan, Skip, Alan.
Hey, Manning. Hey, I know you've been going through these, and you've been having a hard time trying to get. I just picked something. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. Hey, it's not that big of a deal.
I literally went through stats. I got stats.
I've been watching every pundit this side of the Mississippi and trying to listen to everybody. So, I just made up my mind what I'm going to pick, and I picked it.
Fair. That's fair. Well, speaking of someone who is just going to pick something, I don't know. Maybe you are. Malcolm's here.
I didn't just pick things. I actually did stats and went theoretically on this because the other few times I've just picked something, but I've seen 8 out of the 10 Best Picture nominees. So, yeah.
Good. And now to clarify, I have not done any stats when it comes to the shorts because good luck. Those don't have any stats whatsoever. You just pick it and hope you picked it right.
Wait, so there's no short guild out there?
No, there is. You know what? I don't think there is. There's like festivals, but there's no short film guild, is there? No, there isn't.
No, they'll screen all those shorts. If you're lucky, you know where to go to watch them.
You know what they should do? They should have like a like for the DGA or PGA or something, or have a short film category, and make that animated, make that short live action, make that documentary of some kind, like just kind of have short film, be it feature or documentary. Maybe. Bad idea.
I don't know.
Maybe.
But I've seen all the films except for one, so I kind of wish I would have seen that one film, but couldn't see it. I didn't even get a screener for it, so I'm kind of
Riding with Fire.
Yes.
Same. I know it's the one I haven't seen either. It's that one, and I still haven't seen Lunana. Those are the two I have not yet seen, and then I have not yet seen Parallel Mothers. Still, I'm waiting for it to go down from $20. I'm like, I'm not renting you for $20. I'm not doing that. Oh Lord! But everything else I've seen, shorts included. So
yeah.
All right. So the Oscars are coming up this Sunday. This is Friday night right now. We're recording at 7:08 p.m. exactly Eastern time. Excuse me. 7:09 actually. I lied. It literally just changed. But the Oscars are this Sunday. And we are waiting here with bated breath. And I know I'm not the only one excited. I know our panel here is excited. Trepidatious. I will admit myself. I think that these are going to be to say it nice, a very different Oscars, and to say it kind of bad, say it poorly, I don't know. But to be on the more mean side, I think this is going to be a pretty terrible Oscars from a presentation standpoint, not from an award standpoint. The awards most likely will be really, really great. But from a presentation standpoint, I'm not looking forward to this. Dan, what are your hopes, dreams, and desires for this Oscars coming up in 2 days?
Well, I just want to see that tribute to The Godfather.
Oh yeah,
and I hope that comes out pretty good. And they have The Godfather cast give away Best Picture, and it's something worthy of The Godfather, if you ask me. But I'm glad they finally got their head out of their backside and got Rachel Zegler to come to the ceremony after not allowing her to come, and they're having a bunch of export people and rappers and people like that to come and present. It's like,
That's another
you're not going
question.
to have Rachel Zegler, but you're going to have all these guys, Tony Hawk and DJ
Shaun
Khaled,
White.
people. It's like, give me Sean. I mean, who cares about these people? I'm not the biggest fan of West Side Story, but get Zegler there. I mean, give me a break. That was ridiculous when I heard that story this week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just want it to go smooth, and I just have a bad feeling it's not going to go smooth because we're going to have to figure out who won those 8. While I'm sitting there watching the show, I'm going to have to figure out who won those other 8 awards to see if my ballot, if I'm undefeated on my ballot up till that point, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stay off of Twitter because you know them more than likely. They're gonna announce those on Twitter on the red carpet when you're like, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here, just kind of waiting. Then we're gonna be, oh, film editing went to, Don't Look Up. I threw up a little in my mouth. Excuse me.
Yeah, don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. I don't
Don't worry,
want.
I'm
I
not
don't want.
predicting
Don't Look Up to win anything.
Agreed. Malcolm, are you gonna? What are your hopes and dreams? As I asked Dan for this Oscars coming up this Sunday.
I mean, I just hope it's entertaining because, like, you've got like Regina Hall, Wanda Sykes, and Amy hosting it, and they're pretty entertaining people. And it's one of those ones for whatever, like, just to touch on I think part of it is because of the of social media and everyone getting upset about it. That's probably why they. But it's one of those ones like I don't know why she got upset with it. Her publicist didn't check up on it, or Disney just thought she was too busy filming Snow White in London and was actually going to make it up due to COVID reasons. So I mean, so I think there's probably some reason why they didn't either. That like, because I mean, it can't have been that they forgot. I think it was just they might have thought she wasn't going to be available. Or
somehow, some way, I know she's in the middle of filming Snow White, and whether it was Disney not making a schedule, being like, "Hey, you can do this" or whatnot. It's on ABC. Let the poor girl go.
Plus, in there in London, they're going to be doing something from London. Let her have it. Just go to that one.
Be in London. Be in London.
There. Yeah, you know. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
But anyway, Malcolm, what are your, besides of course the Rachel Zegler controversy, what are your other like thoughts and opinions about this coming a show? What are you hoping for?
I mean, it's one of those ones, like, as I said, like, I'm just sort of hoping it's like entertaining, because it's one of those ones, like, I like watching the Oscars in general, and it's just one of those ones that I hope it's entertaining, and like with everything they've added in there, and I mean, it's one of those ones, Shaun White and that, like, I don't mind them being there to present an award. That's fine, because I mean,
but they're not in the movie business, Malcolm. I don't get it. Why have non-movie people there? Have movie people there.
I mean, as I said, I don't care that they're not movie people, because let's put it this way, I don't think partially it's probably because of to try and get more people to watch, but I don't know who cares about them at all at this stage anyway. That's the other.
That's what I'll quickly add by saying that's the reason I don't think that they're needed. Oh, excuse me, need is the wrong word. I think that this is a level of pandering because they're really trying really hard. They're trying really hard to get people, but you're right. I don't know what people are really paying attention for Tony Hawk. No offense to Tony Hawk. Seems like a good guy, but no one.
Valid.
I mean, for all we know, they might be slightly connected with one of the shorts. I don't know.
No, they're not. If they got Shaquille O'Neal, I think he Queen of Basketball. I think he produced that, so that would have made sense.
But I mean, it's one of those ones. Like, ultimately, I'm not sure. I'd like they'll like they're only their percentage of one. It's not like they're going to take any spotlight away from anyone, or that's like, and it's just they're just there. I mean, I don't think their presence is going to get anyone really to want to watch. It's like, I can't see anyone going, "Oh, Shaun White's presenting an award at the Oscars. I have to watch it."
Yes, no one is doing that.
So I mean, it might just be a case that there was a lot of people that they wanted to ask that wasn't involved with any of those movies to present. So I mean, it is what it is. Ultimately, I'm not getting too upset about it. So
I mean, that's a good mentality to have with everything going on in the world. I will say, though, I don't know if you saw this, but Amy Schumer was going to attempt to invite Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, to the Oscars for I don't know, something, Best Picture, or present something. And I'm over here just kind of like, you do realize he's in the middle of a war and probably has other stuff he needs to do. So I'm just hoping there's nothing that level of idiocy. As long as we stay away from something like that, I think we should be good.
well, yeah. I mean, it's I was going to bring that up. Like, it's one of those ones. Like, I do appreciate that sentiment, but just to sort of
Better way to
show.
do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is. But I mean, when the Oscars sort of denied it in the first place, which is big, and he probably wouldn't have been able to come anyway unless we're going to do a live feed to him to present something.
Yeah, I just think that was a really poor choice considering the state of the world that we're in right now, and seems very superficial. I would have, if someone's going to say something in regards to the crisis that is going on in Ukraine right now, more than likely, and I fully expect that. But you know what? Hey, it's the biggest news of our time right now, for good reason. But guys, have any other last thoughts of the show and what to expect before we dive right in?
Yeah, no. I mean, I hope there's not a lot of surprises. I like chalk.
Well, let's go find out right now if we're going to get some surprises, Dan. All right, so we're going to start off basically from the Gold Derby up and down the list. I wrote mine over here with a spoiler behind it as well, too, just so I could have kind of like, a list about what could possibly happen. So, best live action short. Jinx, are you ready? All right, best live action short, which again, this like 8 other categories will be presented off air, and I will be telling you which one will be off air just so we have an awareness about when that happens. I'm curious at how they're going to do that. I don't like it, as we've stated, but I'm curious still how it's going to look, Anyway, best live action short. I have, or let me go quickly with the nominees first, and then we'll do that. So we all have like an idea of actually what's going on. And I realized I don't have the nominees up, so that's on me.
I've got Gold Derby app anyway, so I can do that if you want.
So yeah, go ahead and do that one. Yes, I don't have Gold Derby. I should do that.
The nominees for live action short are The Long Goodbye, Alla Kachu Taken One, The Dress, Please Hold, and On My Mind.
So what do you have, Malcolm?
I mean, I just went with what the number one on Gold Derby was, which was A Long Goodbye.
Exact same, Dan.
Yeah, the Riz Ahmed one, The Long Goodbye, to me is the best one. But
really,
The Bullies is a good one.
The what one?
The Bullies. No, that's a documentary.
It's a documentary, yes.
I'm not looking at them right now. I'm not looking at them right now. I'm trying to pull them up myself.
No, you're good. The other ones are Take and Run, which is the one about the woman who is basically kidnapped and forced into marriage. The Dress is about the small person.
Yeah, The Dress. A lot of people are picking The Dress, but I'm gonna go with the
that's
Riz
my
Ahmed
spoiler.
one. Yeah, I'm going with the Riz Ahmed one. And then the weird one where the guy, the phone call. What about he wants to play?
Please hold.
Please hold. Please hold is okay. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think if you look at it and you see Riz Ahmed's name there, he could win an Oscar. I mean, it seems like the most obvious that he's going to win.
Although I will say, don't forget too, the last year we had it was last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember, but remember
Ruffalo. Oscar
Well,
Isaac.
yes, Oscar Isaac, the letter room. Remember that was the big name, and he still lost. I don't remember what he lost to, but he lost.
Yeah.
So they
So-
don't always go for the person, but I'm just kind of going with the long goodbye because I don't know what else it could be. Like I think it's either the dress. The dress is my spoiler.
Yeah. Some people I'm watching and listening to some podcasts and they are picking the dress, but that's sort of like a foreign country that one is, and I think Riz Ahmed, it's a little bit more closer to home where you could understand what's going on in it. So that's why I think we're going to go with the long goodbye.
And no, I know we'll be able to hit home a lot more. And so we all have the long goodbye, correct?
Yeah.
And but if there is a spoiler, what could it possibly be for all y'all? I have the dress.
Yeah, same here.
I don't know enough about the live action shorts to
Fair. It's the shorts. Go with the dress, Malcolm. All right. So, go ahead, Malcolm.
I was about to say I don't bow to peer pressure. I'm just going to pick a please hold and
Okay.
protest.
Fair. Go for it. All right. I'll get this next one. We can kind of go back and forth. I'll mention the nominations for Best Documentary Short, and then Dan, could you go Best Animated Short, and then Malcolm go to Best International. I'll go Documentary, and Dan, you can go Animated Feature, and like so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Perfect. All right. For Best Documentary Short, we have The Queen of Basketball, Lead Me Home, Audible, 3 Songs for Benazir, and When We Were Bullies. That's the one you were talking about, Dan. So
Yeah.
I have, because it's the most accessible, it's literally on YouTube, and the New York Times, I feel like, especially after Colette won last year and it really destroyed my ballot, I'm going with The Queen of Basketball, especially after she passed away recently. I think it's really timely as well, too.
Yeah, I'm going with The Queen of Basketball as well, but keep an eye out for Audible about the deaf football team. That's on Netflix. You can watch it. That's really good. But Queen of Basketball has got a really good narrative to it, and I think that might be the one.
The narrative's there. Malcolm?
I also went with Queen of Basketball because that's the one that's top and gold derby.
Oh no, are we all going to have the same ones and they're all going to be the ones that are at the top of Gold Derby?
Just so happens that's what it looks like here by looking at it. But
all right.
But I've seen them all, so that's why I'm picking the ones I'm picking.
Well, then tell us then, do we all have the same thing when it comes to also spoiler for me as well as Audible. Dan, you said yours is Audible. What's your spoiler, Malcolm, if you do have one? Audible as well.
I'll just randomly go 3 songs for Benazir.
That's my least favorite out of all of them, personally.
Yeah, it's not that good.
No, I don't care for that one. Lead Me Home was actually my favorite. I loved that one. That one was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dan, head us away for Best Animated Short.
Best Animated Short, we have Box Ballet, Bestia, Affairs of the Heart, The Windshield Wiper, and Robin. And the obvious one, it's on Netflix, about a half hour long. It's got Gillian Anderson. It's got Richard E. Grant in there as voices. Robin. This has got to be the one. I've watched all of these. The one that's maybe the closest to being halfway decent is Box Ballet, but the rest of them are kind of weird, and they really don't have a lot of interesting. This one actually is a story. Robin has got it's got the Aardman animators, so it seems like the most obvious. Robin should be the one.
Also, our favorite Josephine says, star presence with live action shorts does not necessarily guarantee a win. Take the letter room, for instance. Exactly. That's what I'm very concerned about as well, too. But again, I'm not hedging my bets. I'm not confident in anything else to switch for the long goodbye. But you were right, Dan. Robin, this is outside of Robin, these are all like really dark and weird. Maybe not dark, but half of them are dark. It's very weird.
Bestia is really weird.
Woo!
Wiper I like, but it's weird. It's just
if you don't know what the story is when you go into it, you are very confused about what in the world is going on.
Yeah.
Which I will encourage everyone to go check out that story to explain, and then go watch the short. Don't do what I did in the reverse and be completely confused. But no, I think Robin, just because it's the one that's different from all of them. I agree with that one. And Malcolm,
I also went with Robin.
3 for 3. All going.
Um,
So we're all gonna drown or die upon this hill. All three of us, if one of these is gone.
Yeah, I hope we get
but
that
yeah,
one.
I mean, there's no like Disney short this year to but for me, the potential spoiler is actually the windshield wiper. I actually enjoyed that one because it's one of those ones like, well, yes, it like Dan said, it's random, but it's like it's just a series of vignettes about people explaining to them what is love, and I think it's a interesting thing. And I think if anything is a spoiler, that could be what happens.
No, I actually agree. That's actually my spoiler as well too, because I find that to be really kind of a beautiful. It's a very poetic art piece in a way. The animation is beautiful. I don't love it, but I love what it makes me feel. If that makes any sense whatsoever, it's very emotive. So yeah, that is my spoiler as well. Dan, what's your spoiler? Is it Bestia?
Box ballet. I just like this. It's like where this old ugly boxer falls in love with the ballet dancer, and it's really kind of romantic and heartwarming. So
no, I agree. All right, Malcolm, international film.
International film is Drive My Car, The Worst Person in the World, Flee, The Hand of God, and Luana the Yak in the Classroom.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm going for the obvious one here. Drive My Car. But with the worst person in this world being the potential spoiler, I'm actually considering switching these close to the time. But I'm
Now, okay, Dan, I saw that face for all of those who are the audio only. He made a face of shock and like, what? I will say, Clayton Davis from Variety changed Drive My Car to the worst person in the world. So there is, I was shocked too. I don't think it's going to happen, but I appreciate the guts because the worst person in the world has hit with a lot of people. That screenplay nod means something. I don't know what it's going to mean, but
I mean, both of them have screenplay nods to be.
that's true. But one has picture and director. So
yeah, one has picture and director. How could you go against one that has picture and director?
I mean, how did Another Round turn out? That had director as well. So
it did, but it won. It won international film.
I thought something else won.
No, if it didn't, then that's another. Well, I mean, we might be thinking of the year that Paolo Palinowski was nominated for Cold War, but he lost.
Yeah.
For director.
Yeah, that probably was the one I was thinking of actually.
But that's because Cold
War came out with Roma.
Yeah, I mean it's Roma. I mean it's one of those ones because, look, I still say it can go either way because they're both really close. And I mean, I haven't seen Drive My Car, but I don't like for being 3 hours. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I can sit through a foreign language movie that long. But I really did love The Worst Person in the World, and it's not often I'm raving about a foreign language movie. So
no, it's not, and I'm going to take that win as a small victory because I know you're not a foreign language individual. I will say that that is the spoiler. I think we can all agree that's the spoiler. That's the 2. In this case, do we disagree?
Yeah, it's Drive My Car, Worst Person in the World. Flea's a distant third in this category.
Yes, I agree. Again, it all depends. The Worst Person in the World has a lot of good buzz around it. Again, I'm merely saying that in defense of Malcolm because I saw Clayton Davis of Variety do it. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, even though I do think it is Drive My Car safely. All right. Best documentary. The nominees are Summer of Soul, Attica, Ascension, Flee, Riding with Fire, which I still have not seen. Hard to see. Hard to see, ladies and gentlemen. I currently have, and I think we're all. I'm going to be curious if anyone else has any difference. It's Summer of Soul, right? Are we in any disagreement?
Yeah, it's Summer of Soul, but this is the one category of the 3 that if Flee could upset, it's this category because it's not going to win animated feature and it's not going to win live action feature, international feature. It's good. It might sneak up on people and take out, because there's a contingency of foreign people that are going to be voting in all these categories, and maybe they don't want to go about with the music documentary from Harlem in the 1960s. They want to go with the movie about a harrowing story about a man's escape from Afghanistan or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then escape from Russia. Ironic.
And then he had to escape from Russia. He goes from Afghanistan to Russia, then Russia to, I think, Finland or Norway or somewhere.
Something like one of those Scandinavian countries.
Yeah. But I'm picking Summer of Soul, but I would not be surprised if there's an upset in this category and it's Flea. And you got to be careful. The Directors Guild did pick Attica, because that director who did Attica had done a couple docs previously, so this is like his third one. So I think they were rewarding him for his quality of work previously, and that's why they gave him that. But I don't think it's going to win here, even though it's very good.
Attica is my third, but yeah, it's not winning. Malcolm?
Yeah, I went Summer of Soul. Look, Flea is probably going to be the spoiler. I have no idea. I haven't seen the other docs. So.
Summer of Soul is undoubtedly, I think it's just kind of like it's steamrolling over here right now. It is a steamrolling pick. And if the hardest battle is at making it, and the fact that it made it, good. That's gonna help it tremendously. It's won BAFTA, it's won critics, it's won PGA, I think. I'm pretty sure. More than likely.
It won everywhere it could except for the Directors Guild, which Attica won.
Yes. All right, Dan, what's the next?
Best animated feature, we have Flea, Encanto, Luca, The Mitchells versus the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon. I battled on this during the week, listened to a lot of people, and I had to switch off the one I really want to see win this one, and that's Mitchell's. I had to go with Encanto. It just seems like it's the narrative for this is too big, and I think it's just so obvious that people have seen this one. They know the name Encanto, and Mitchell's came out back in June, and I think with the songs and all that kind of stuff, I just think Encanto's the one, and I don't want Encanto to win. I want Mitchell's to win, but I think it's going to be Encanto.
Malcolm? I'm going Mitchell's.
Hey, there you go.
I'm going with the stat that I picked up for the Annie Awards. Most of the time, the Annie one that wins the Annie for best animated feature is the winner of this. At 14 out of the last 20 times of the best picture, that's the way it's gone. So I am going for the upset here. For me, Encanto is the spoiler. It's definitely between Encanto and Mitchell's, but clearly people are still going with people seem to still care about Mitchell's this far back, especially if it won the Annie Awards. I'm not going to count that out. Really
no,
not.
I don't think you should. I personally, I do have Encanto. I do think that Mitchell vs. Machines is the spoiler. They're I think it's closer than we think. I did some digging because I know you spent that stat before. What I've been looking for since BAFTA years ago started doing Best Animated Feature, BAFTA has missed only 3 out of the 16 times when it comes to matching the Oscar. And this year, they went with Encanto. So that's 3 out of 16 times they've missed. One was Kubo and the Two Strings, I remember, instead of what it was. The other one was the Lego movie. Remember that entire fiasco with the Lego movie not even being nominated? That was a weird thing that happened. And then I can't remember what the other one was. It's gonna bug me to no end. But yeah, like those were the 2, and then another one that were the ones that missed. Maybe it was Wreck-It Ralph. I think it was Wreck-It Ralph actually, one instead of Brave. But don't quote me on that. So I'm gonna go with Encanto mainly because of that BAFTA stat, because Annie is the second best. BAFTA so far, just from percentage wise, is what I'm gonna go for. So I'm gonna go with Encanto. With Mitchell's, I'd be really happy if Mitchell's won though. So that's a spoiler for me. So that was Dan. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Malcolm.
Well, yeah, I was just doing a check. Because I mean, Encounter did get PGA as well, so
It's true. I don't know what the correlation of PGA is. I didn't check that yet, but it's good. Malcolm, what about for best visual effects?
for best visual effects, we've got Dune, Spider-Man: No Way Home, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Free Guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going with, and I'm pretty sure everyone else is going there, Dune.
Yeah, I think this is the most locked up next to. Geez, I had difficulty trying to find out what a second one was for this, and then director. I don't know what number 2 is because it just feels so far in advance.
For this one, I think the number 2 is probably going to be either Spider-Man or Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
but just because, like, out of all the visual effects ones that we've had, like, BAFTA didn't have any. I don't think it had either of the Marvel ones that are nominated. Maybe Shang-Chi was there. I don't.
Didn't. No, good call.
So
No.
So with them not there in here, it could be an interesting spoiler. Here, I don't know what the Visual Effects Society had, but I mean they probably had Dune. I think they had Dune Mini, if I remember rightly when I checked. But
Yes.
that, I don't know if they had the Marvel ones nominated or not. So
I think they did. I'm not mistaken. But Dan, what about for you?
Yeah, Dune. Dune's. I've had Dune this entire time. Those visual
Yeah.
effects look stunning and just as good as the cinematography, and they go hand in hand. A lot of those
Agreed.
texts go hand in hand for Dune. I mean, if you pick one, you pretty much got to pick the others.
Yeah, so don't forget also to get your tally as well, too, guys, because about how many have won what, just so we have that at the very end. So you got to have some time for that, just to see what we think is going to be the biggest winner of the night. And we all agree it's going to be Dune, but at this point, it's how many does Dune win?
do we?
I mean, percentage-wise, just for sheer number, then yeah, that's going to be the big one. It's not going to win picture.
I
I mean,
but-
you don't know what I've predicted. So
No,
True.
but
I'm curious.
you're pretty much gonna pick Dune for 5 or 6, so that's gonna be the biggest winner if it
Yeah.
wins 5 or 6, right? Nobody's gonna even come close to winning 5 or 6.
It could win 4. There's a day when it could win 4. I think
4.
that's I think because obviously when we get to production design or cinematography or
Sound.
edit, I think sound and
Editing.
visual effects and score are the 3 that are like, yes,
Score.
definitely
Yeah,
happening.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It could win 5 or 6.
Yeah, agreed.
If you decide to go that way.
Well, speaking of sounds, we literally just talked about it. We won't spend too much time on the ones we kind of know by heart. But for best sound, we have Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. West Side Story being the only representation, but for a musical, in a year of musicals, sad Tick Tick Boom didn't make it in here. That'd be really cool. But yeah, I'm going with Dune. I don't have. I think we're all in agreement. The sound work goes for Dune. West Side Story maybe a spoiler because it's a musical, and you never count out a musical.
Yeah, Dune. I do like the sound in Power of the Dog. The comb, the whistling, the various little things that they do in there with sound in Power of the Dog. But also the power of the sound in No Time to Die is fantastic. But yeah, Dune.
It is.
Dune.
I made West Side Story for this.
Really?
Yeah. I just saw West Side Story for the first time. Was either last week or the week before. But I really love the sound of that way more than on Dune. I think the sound in Dune was just generic stuff you could hear in many other science fiction movies. So
no.
So I read West Side Story.
Interesting. I mean, I do think it's the spoiler, and that would be like a good day if. Now I'm curious of what else you have for West Side
think
Story as
maybe
we keep going up.
You're thinking mistaking the score for the sound, Malcolm. But
No, I'm talking about the
Huh?
sound effects. I'm not mistaking the score.
All right.
Don't assume.
right.
All
Don't
right.
assume.
all right, that's
All righty then. Good. You know what? Hey, if that does happen and Malcolm does get it, then I'll be eating crow for the rest of the night. So I am glad we have variety though. I don't want us to follow the same exact thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, so damn,
Best song.
hit us. Oh, by the way, I meant to do this and I forgot to do this. Best Sam will also be off air. All right, please continue.
Yeah, best song. We have "Down to Joy" from Belfast, "Dos Eraguitas" from Encanto, "Somehow You Do" for "Four Good Days," "Be Alive" from King Richard, and "No Time to Die" from No Time to Die. This has been one that has been pretty locked up for a while, but all of a sudden now I'm starting to hear people have
Yeah.
some rumblings about the song. I'm like, why are we starting rumblings about the song now? Let's just give it to Billie Eilish and Phineas, get it over with. Don't be waffling about this. No Time to Die. If 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 it did go to somebody else, I'd like it to go to Beyonce, not the song from Encanto, because you can't reward the song from Encanto when they get the wrong song. So do not do that, people. Give it to No Time to Die.
I
Not
love
that
how Dan
Taylor's watching me or not.
Dan has officially turned into the angry old man for 5 seconds over here, being like, "You guys got to give it to No Time to Die instead." Rah!
Yeah,
I
because
just
you
saw-
know what? I don't need all this waffling for song. This has been in the bag for months. Stop trying to change it now.
Well, don't forget, Best Picture we thought was in the bag for
Yeah.
since on that nomination, and then last minute surge. I think people like Lin-Manuel Miranda. Okay, that said, I still have No Time to Die, but I think Dos Oruguitas is number 2
Yeah.
because it's not by the power of the song; it's the power of Mr. Miranda himself.
Yeah, they're saying that if he wins, he could get the EGOT, and so it's got that narrative going for it. And they want to try to push this narrative of him winning so he gets an EGOT. No, we don't need this. No Time to Die, people.
We don't need this about Bruno. We don't talk about Miranda.
We don't talk about Encanto. We talk about
no. So, go ahead, Malcolm.
I so want to change this, but no, I went No Time to Die. Dos Oruguitas is my favorite song from Encanto. I'm
Not
not a big
Bruno?
fan- No,
Oh,
so I legit think that could be the spoiler. That
No,
definitely is the spoiler because
Okay.
my
agreed.
least favorite song out of these 5 is the Beyonce song. That I've got. I mean, and I
not Down
think
to
if
Joy?
either Encanto or No Time to Die don't, it's going to be the one that's not being performed at the Oscars, and that's Down to Joy from Belfast.
That'd be dumb.
That would be
That'd be
great.
kind of dumb. They perform all the songs except that one, and that's the one that wins. This I don't. Think
I
so.
don't see. I just think if Belfast was pulling if we're like taking if it was like definitely being taking picture, I'd be like, okay, it might bring it in with it. But Belfast is the poor film that's slowly bleeding. And I don't think, especially because Van Morrison is the one performer that will not be performing because he has scheduling conflicts. I don't know how much I buy. I don't know what's PR, what's real.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it's more his views on vaccinations.
I mean,
Thank you.
probably.
Thank you,
Probably. Yes. You're right. I mean, you're right, but I don't know what's PR and what's not anymore. It's all a blur. All right. But no, they will all be performed live and it will be on air for song. They'd be foolish not to have it on air. And by on air, I mean on live. They're going to show clips, but we'll see how that turns out.
And we're gonna get performance of we talk about Luca for some ungodly reason.
Bruno, you mean?
Bruno, that's Luca.
That'd be a different crossover.
Wow. Yeah, I said Luca. I had Luca.
Because you woke up from sleep an hour ago. That's why.
I had Luca
I mean,
animated.
I mean, it's one of those ones. I think it's a case of I think they're performing it because they want a good poppy song to open up the show.
It's probably the
To
open,
bring
isn't
everyone
it?
in. Yeah, because they'll be to me that's the only reason they're doing it. They're doing like they want to do some big opening, and they're like, well, we'll do this one because it's not nominated because we don't want to open up with an Oscar nominated song. So they just do something to open it up. So I think this
Yeah.
Bruno is probably the best way to open it up. Because like what Queen was a few years ago, and I think Elton John opened up one of the Oscars when Rocket Man was nominated.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah,
I can't
Rocket Man
remember.
that year. Queen, Elton John did open up. You're right, and then Queen
Okay.
opened up the year that what's his name? Yeah, you're right, Malcolm.
Yeah.
That's a
you have
good-
good memory, Malcolm.
It's a good point. You're right. You're right. It probably is the opener. And there was a tweet. I think it was since been taken down, but I think it's either Chris Miller or Phil Lord tweeted out saying, "Really, Oscars?" Because they were promoting Encanto while voting was going on. Apparently, with this, we don't talk about Bruno, and they kind of got rightfully upset because I know they're putting on a show, but like they're promoting that song when it's like you're not. It's not even nominated. It feels like you're showing
Yeah.
favoritism. You know.
Well, it's Disney, ABC, and
Oh, yeah.
Canto. You can add that up. 1, 2, 3.
While we're still talking slightly about animated, I'm probably going to change animated because Jessica, I was quickly doing the stats as we were talking. The last 6 years, the PGA and Best Animated Feature have been the same.
Oh wow.
So I'm probably going to change it back to Encanto. It's been one of those ones that's been I've been flip flopping a lot. The earliest year that I could find that was different was 2014 because PJ went to the Lego Movie. And
Yeah, weird year. Weird year.
and the Oscars went to Big Hero 6.
Well, change happening right now. Don't worry, guys. You have until March 27th to finalize them. But these are going to be our final picks for now, except maybe like one or two. We'll get freebies for those. All right. The next off-air award that we'll be given will be Best Score. So, Malcolm, what do we got for Best Score?
Best score we got Dune, The Power of the Dog, Encanto, Parallel Mothers, and Don't Look Up. And for this one, I have got it starts with D. Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, I was like, you didn't even go Power of the Dog?
no, I went Dune because
Okay.
that's got the momentum.
Yeah. I was like,
well, I couldn't do the joke. It starts with D with Power of the Dog, could I?
you couldn't. You could do starts with yeah, the dog
Ends with a D. I don't know.
ends with that isn't that ends with an E. It doesn't end with an E. Wow. Yeah, you couldn't have done that. Never mind. That wouldn't have worked.
This is Hans Zimmer is going to get his second Oscar, even though I'd love to see Johnny Greenwood win here. But it's Hans Zimmer's deserves his second Oscar by now. I mean, how this guy hasn't won more than 2 is beyond me. And Dune, this will make the third category. Dune wins if things go the way I think they're going to go.
Yes.
And, yeah.
He should have won for Interstellar for his sound score, Hans Zimmer, in my opinion. But you know what? This is also an amazing score too, and I love it because, man, I can't wait for part 2. Can't wait for part 2. Yeah, I think this is Dune. This is going to be Hans Zimmer's to lose because I don't think he's lost. I don't think he's lost anything at this point. But spoiler is still Power of the Dog because I guess that's the next buzziest one that could possibly overtake it, perhaps. But it's not Don't Look Up. Don't worry. No one fret. It's not Don't Look Up. All right. That's another one that'll be off air. Another one that will be off air is Best Production Design. And they are as follows. We have Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Now this is one that I think that this is one that might be a bit of a race, but I still have Dune because it's won the most so far with the precursors. But don't sleep on a spoiler. Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, I mean, Manny, Nightmare Alley got into 3 categories. It's got into costume design, production, 4
Picture.
best picture. Did it get into?
Remember, Nightmare Alley's in Best Picture.
Oh, I forgot. Well, all right. Of
How did you forget? You're the biggest fan of Nightmare Alley.
Okay, exclude best picture, but the 3
Okay.
below the line categories is production design, costumes, and cinematography.
Yes.
Right. Those 3, if you ask Guillermo del Toro and everybody, they go hand in hand. And if you look at the movie, they really work well together, the 3 of them. So I think it has a chance to win one. And I think of all the ones that it does have, it's not going to win in cinematography, and it's not going to win in costumes. So if it did win, it could win production design. But that being said, I'm still going with Dune. This will make the 4th win if Dune wins. This will make the 4th win for Dune.
This will.
But I think Nightmare Alley is the second. It has the second. And this is a little bit of a narrative going on. Tragedy Macbeth. But no.
I would love that. I love that production design, but it's not happening.
Bunch of bland sets on a stage that are lit really nice, which creates a nice cinematography.
Whoa.
Hey.
You're a bad. How dare you badmouth one of my favorite films of the year, sir? How dare you?
I like Tragedy Macbeth, but that's kind of that's what it is. It's not really production design.
Yes, but here's the thing. I haven't seen the movie. I've seen the trailer, and so I know somewhat about the production design for Tragedy Macbeth. I think what they're doing is they're trying to recreate what it would have looked like in Shakespearean times, which is really minimal production design. So I think if on that side of things, I think it is done well because that's what they're trying to replicate.
It's very minimalistic because they're doing for a very theater type look to it. And yes, they use a lot of, they also use a lot of visual effects. They use a lot of the great use of cinematography. It's that marriage of production design and cinematography where it goes hand in hand really, really well. So I think it's very excellent from the very, it's very impressionistic, German impressionism back in the day, like they used to do, where very much like, the lighting is harsh and, as I said, very Seventh Seal. And I utterly adored that production design. It's very minimalistic. You're not right, but it's artistic and very meticulously crafted, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, it's one of those ones like Joel definitely had an idea of what he wanted to go for, and that's what. I mean, for me, I've also got Dune, but for me, I actually think this border could be West Side Story.
West Side Story High.
As I said, I think it would have been last week. I mean, it's one thing to create sets from scratch and that, but it's another to recreate a set from a remake and make it look pretty good and really similar to what it was. So
yeah,
and I mean it's one of those ones like Nightmare Alley is essentially a remake too. So that's got that same sort of thing going for that as well. So. Yeah.
And don't forget, Nightmare Alley did win the art directors guild for a period, and that still has a win under its belt. It's not like it just flew off the wind, flew out from nowhere. It's very showy. It has a possibility. I'm still going Dune, but I'd not be surprised if Nightmare Alley. I'm gonna be beating myself up if that does happen. Makeup and hair. Wait, that's me. Just wait. Is that me? Who's next?
Yes.
Me?
Yep,
Me.
yep.
Okay. For best makeup and hair, we have. That's my notes. I'm going to get this one out. Best makeup and hairstyling. No. I got lost. No. Wait. Did I do?
I did score.
I did production design. So Dan, you do makeup and hairstyling. Okay, there we go.
Right.
Got off topic.
All right. Best makeup and hairstyling: Cruella, Dune, Coming to America, House of Gucci, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. This is a no-brainer. This is going to be the tandem with Jessica Chastain. They're gonna pull in the makeup, and she's gonna pull in Best Actress. This is you can go back through the Oscars and you can see this tandem has won a couple times before. So yeah, this is
Transformation.
If Eyes of Tammy Faye doesn't win this, I'll be shocked, to be honest with you.
What else could? Oh well, there is. The
Usually
makeup branch is
because of the
weird. Remember?
eyes and stuff. I don't know, but
But remember, the makeup Suicide Squad won. So there's always a weird. There can be always a weird winner for makeup. Never underestimate how strange the makeup branch can go. But Malcolm, what's
Coming
your
to
pick?
America might, because of that.
Yes.
That's some good makeup, but the movie's not that good, and it's not have a narrative of potentially winning a Best Actress Oscar, and that's why I don't think it's going to win. And
Yes,
I'm sure
but
Malcolm's got something to say about this.
Yes, he does.
yes, but here's the thing: coming to America, the original won makeup and hairstyling back in the 80s.
I know it did. I know it did.
So
Did it win or get nominated?
I'm pretty sure it won.
I'm gonna find out. Keep talking.
But yeah, I mean, I did go with the Eyes of Tammy Faye. Ultimately, but I think if anything, well, yes, the tandem of Jessica Chastain and Tammy Faye could happen. A big spoiler here could be House of Gucci with Jared Leto's transformation in that movie. I'm manifesting this into the world because it's House of Gucci's one nomination, and I think it's much
Oh,
deserved for
stop.
makeup and hairstyling. If Suicide Squad can win, so can House of Gucci.
You're not wrong, but I will also say, to clarify, it was nominated for costume design and makeup. So it did not win, but it was in fact nominated. I merely have Coming to America as a spoiler. I also have The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and this one will also be off air. Coming to America, I has my spoiler mainly because there was an Oscar ballot behind the scenes Oscar ballot saying, like, from a makeup artist saying, anonymous Oscar ballot, excuse me, saying like how the makeup artist who was this individual said that she or he or whomever said that this was the most impressive makeup that she'd seen this year. So if the makeup branch was exclusively voting, that's why I remember it won heavily for the makeup branch when it won all those awards for the Makeup Guild. So that, I think it's 2. But again, it could be as Dune, and we're going to be defaulting. It could just be Dune as a spoiler.
And that would be the 5th for Dune if it did.
It would be. I don't think so, but it could be.
I mean, the other thing on this, like, the only other reason I can see Coming to America maybe winning this is more of a case of a give me Oscar for the fact it was not the first one was nominated but didn't win last time, and it's basically the same kind of thing because it's Eddie Murphy is turning into quite a lot of those he's turning into the same characters he did in the first one. So I mean, I don't think there was a new character that was introduced in this one that he played that wasn't in the first one. So
I
take back. So that
Malcolm?
being a potential spoiler is there's many ways that could happen with that.
We all have The Eyes of Tammy Faye, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And I will say, scratch that. I haven't seen 4 of these. I have still yet to see Coming to America, and I really don't want to see it. I really don't.
Not that good.
Rip the band-aid off and watch it. It is terrible.
On Amazon, you can watch it.
But I mean, you don't have to pay. You also don't have to pay money to watch it. So
this is true. Everyone already has Amazon. All right. The last off-air category is best film editing. And may I quickly preface before I let Malcolm tell us what we have, and just by saying this is by far any of the 5 could win. Maybe not Don't Look Up. That's the 5, but there is a possibility where any of these could win. And I am pulling my hair out. Malcolm, please go.
For film editing, I've got Tick Tick Boom, King Richard, Dune, Don't Look Up, and The Power of the Dog. I went with Tick Tick Boom on this, but partly because, well, one, it can go any way, and it won the Ace Eddies for comedy musical. And yeah, so I think And for a spoiler, I've actually got King Richard in here, but just because it won the drama
The
side of
other
things.
one.
Yeah,
I got Dune winning this, and that'll make the 5th or 6th. All depends how you look at things. But I'm right with you, Malcolm. I mean, the best editing, and Manning turned me on to this a while back, and I started thinking about it. The best editing is Tick Tick Boom, but it's a lone editing award. There's like they got maybe Andrew Garfield. I don't know what else they got, but
That's it. It's 2. That's it.
yeah. And so Dune is just cleaning up under the below the line, and I think this is just going to be enough. They have to scroll down their ballot to see Tick Tick Boom to check that box for Dune is going to be right up the top there. Oh, Dune, okay, click that box and move on to the next thing. That's what I think is going to happen. They're not going to scroll all the way down to find Tick Tick Boom or to find some of the. I think it's going to be somebody at the top of the ballot. What's at the top of the ballot? Dune. So,
what's higher than Dune? Don't look up.
yeah,
No.
they know that's not going to win, so they won't vote for that.
What I was gonna say is, I will say like Dune, they might default because it is the big tech player. But I will counter with it's 1-0. It is 1-0. It's won no critics, no Ace, no BAFTA. It lost to No Time to Die, which ain't even in here.
So,
and then you look on the fact is that King Richard, which won Ace, wasn't nominated. Neither was Tick Tick Boom, which also won Ace. You also look at The Power of the Dog, which is also here and racks up nominations, but was not nominated for BAFTA and lost Ace. So I just, from a stat standpoint, there is no way you can fully go about this in a way that's clean. Tick Tick Boom, I'm not picking. I still have King Richard because I'm like, if he's going to come in, if Will Smith is going to win, maybe that brings into this as well too. And Dune, maybe because it's just people thought, oh, it's really long and it's incomplete, blah 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 blah. Maybe they don't give it to it, and we just kind of presume because in fact it's the big tech player.
Well, I will tell you this: there are action sequences where they're flashing back between one of the flopters, and then they're running, and the sandworms coming, and those some of those action
That's great.
Very well edited, very well.
Agreed.
Edited.
Oh, I agree completely. Josephine says editing this year is what Best Actress was last year. Yes, it is.
But yeah, I mean, the other scenario here is, as we've often said, film editing has gone through the one for the most editing before, which I don't mean to throw this to the ether again, but Don't Look Up, I think, has the most editing in this. So it could be the Bohemian Rhapsody of this year and win.
No.
It could.
That would upset me, Malcolm.
But don't forget.
It would upset me too. I didn't predict it, so...
Don't forget, Hank Corrin, though, has already won a BAFTA for Vice. I don't think he's won one for. I don't think he won for so he's already won some awards for his other work, but he wasn't even. That'd be so crazy to me. Like it would have lost. Ace Eddie wasn't even nominated for BAFTA, didn't win critics, and still managed to win the Oscar. This is just mind blowing how completely disjointed editing is in all ways, shape, or form. This is my favorite category this year because it's chaotic. But I will say, Malcolm, I don't think that Tick Tick Boom is going to win. It could, and I would love it to, mainly because the biggest comparison people have said is that it's a non-Best Picture nominee. And by that, especially in Expanded Year of 10, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was one that people compare. But even that had a sound nomination. It had a couple other ones as well, too. An actress. It wasn't by itself. So that's the one thing that's keeping me hesitantly from picking Tick Tick Boom, and Dune just has not won enough. But King Richard, while it did win Ace, wasn't even nominated to BAFTA. So that's why I'm really at a rock and a hard place, and I don't know what to pick because it doesn't seem like any way you pick it, there is no clean answer. There's no clean answer. Any argument can be made. Even for Power of the Dog. Let's say Power of the Dog has a great day, and then they pick that to go along with it, and it just kind of comes along with a picture-director combo. That's a possibility. I don't see Don't Look Up winning, but you know what? Stranger things have happened. I don't know. This is me just having therapy. Speaking of
wins, it'll make 5 or 6 Mannings. So just keep in tally there.
Oh yes. Oh yes. So anyway, so Dan, what's yours again? Just for clarification.
I got Dune.
What's yours again, Malcolm?
Tick, tick, boom.
And I'm King Richard. Yeah, we all have 3 different ones. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love that chaos. And what's your spoiler, Dan?
My spoiler is I will go with Tick Tick Boom because I believe that's the best edited of all of them. And I want to predict the right one, but I would not be upset if Tick Tick Boom won because I think it's the best editing and I think it deserves something. And this could be the one thing it could get.
Yes. And Malcolm, what is your spoiler?
Any of the other 4. But
Right answer.
My actual spoiler is King Richard. Just 'cause,
Okay.
like they both run ACD, so like can go either
And
way.
my spoiler is Dune. So literally all our spoilers don't even really line up. We're all kind of a weird mishmash of each other, and I'm digging it. So we kind of all agree though that Power of the Dog and Don't Look Up are kind of at the bottom of those.
Yeah.
Those bits. All right. Now we're getting back to the ones that are actually televised, ladies and gentlemen. And that is, we have Best Costume Design. We have Cruella, Dune, Cyrano, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. I have, and I think we're all going to have it because it's just kind of raked up everything at this point. Just like raking leaves, it's Cruella. It's the flashiest, and honestly, I think it's showy, but it's the best that I've seen this year. Trash dress, fire dress, what we've talked about before. I don't think we have any disagreements.
The only one that could possibly get is Dune because of those science fiction space costumes are
That's my
really
spoiler.
good looking. They're good looking costumes. Don't get me wrong. And those slip suits or whatever the hell they're called are cool. But yeah. So,
I mean, my spoiler was actually West Side Story for this.
Oh,
it's good costumes. They're colorful.
It is.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones that like for me the reason I've got West Side Story as a potential spoiler is more of the fact, once again, recreating the costumes from the original is not an easy task. So I think you need a masterful costume design, and I think they managed to do that with this.
Yeah,
I agree.
no,
I do agree.
They're good costumes, and I like the costumes in Nightmare Alley as well. So yeah,
another great solid costume, honestly. I do have Cruella and I do have Dune as the spoiler. Malcolm, I'm seeing a lot of love for West Side Story. What was your opinion? You liked West Side Story, didn't you, when you saw it? I'm trying to remember.
I thought West Side Story was pretty good.
Pretty good. All right, we'll take it. I'm really was curious. All right. Best cinematography, another fun one. Dan, take it away.
Best cinematography, we got West Side Story, The Tragedy of Big Macbeth, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and Dune. Look, I would love to see a female win in cinematography, and Ari Wegner, I think, does a great job with filming Malcolm's backyard. I mean, keep an eye out. You get people creeping around your backyard, Malcolm. But dude, Greg Fraser. I said it's either going to be last year or this year or next year. Well, I think it's going to be this year. Greg Fraser is going to win an Oscar this year, and it's going to be the 6th or 7th, however you count them up, for Dune and for cinematography.
Yeah. No, I think so too. But Malcolm, thoughts?
This was tough for me because like tracking this one through the awards this year's like it's either been Dune or Power of the Dog, whichever way you look. So I mean, I ultimately am sitting on Dune at the moment, but this is one that I might change last minute. I really haven't decided because I think Dune got the cinematography guild correct.
Yes, it did. And trying to think yes, it absolutely did.
Yeah. So because of that, I'm sticking with Dune, but I might end up going for my heart and switch to Power of the Dog last minute. Just because I do think the cinematography is better in Power of the Dog. Personally, and yeah.
Now, I'll tell you, Dan Loxton cinematography and Nightmare Alley. Oh God,
It's very good. They're all great. All great.
what is it? Dan Loxton. He's gonna win an Oscar for cinematography one of these days. It's just got to be the right movie at the right time. But
Agreed.
Nightmare Alley's my fifth. I thought the cinematography was fine in it.
I love.
I think the cinematography is best I saw it was much better.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good. But yeah, Dune will be the 6th or 7th if it wins Manning.
So, okay, I'm trying to look back now to see what would happen if BAFTA and American Society for Cinematographers, ACE. I did the same thing again. American Society for Cinematographers, those two correlation. I'm trying to find the last time it did that. So far, nothing. I don't know if you've won both of those, I don't know how you'll go on to lose the Oscar if those both correlate. I could be wrong. Because now I'm thinking like, wait a minute, what won? No, because Nomadland, Mank won American Society for Cinematographers last year, but BAFTA went to Nomadland, so there is split. But if you win both, it's hard to win on to lose the Oscar. I also want to say, Josephine says the cinematography in Drive My Car doesn't get talked about enough. I know it's not nominated, but still wanted to shout it out. I agree. It's really good cinematography. Very good. Very subtle, but very eye-popping colors. I agree. So what? There's the spoilers Power of the Dog, though, right? There is no other spoiler.
Yeah. There's no other spoiler.
No other spoiler. I don't see anything else winning. No West Side Story, no Nightmare Alley, and no
Dan Loxton's gonna win someday. I'm telling you right now, mark it down. Dan Loxton is gonna win someday.
I'd love if Tragedy Macbeth could win. I love that cinematography, but that's not happening.
I mean, every cinematography is probably going to win someday.
I mean, hopefully, not always.
I mean, didn't it take 8 for Roger Deakins to win?
Well,
yes,
no, 17 nominations for him.
No way, 17.
Yeah, I think.
Holy cow!
Blade Runner 2049 was his 17th nomination. If I'm not mistaken, I could be completely wrong.
All right, so
or maybe
we're getting into some of the bigger categories now, ladies and gentlemen. And today we have Best Original Screenplay. Wait, that's you, Malcolm, right?
Yeah.
Hit us away.
Best Original Screenplay is we've got Belfast, Licorice Pizza, Don't Look Up, The Worst Person in the World, and King Richard. I ultimately found this tough. I ultimately stuck with Belfast. With potentially Licorice Pizza being the spoiler here. But this funny thing is I don't think we actually talked about this. The WGA Awards went to Don't Look Up, but then again, and so Don't Look Up could potentially win this. Belfast wasn't eligible, but Licorice Pizza was. So I think there's potentially 2 spoilers here. I think Don't Look Up could steal it from PTA. So
it's a possibility. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think any of us I thought Licorice Pizza was going to win WGA in a walk. Truly. Like, I was shocked, honestly. But it kind of shows to me that there's weakness in Licorice Pizza. But before I say mine, I want to hear what Dan says. Do you think there is weakness in Licorice Pizza if it lost to Don't Look Up?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. And I'm kind of going with Malcolm here, and I've been on the Paul Thomas Anderson train all year long. I wanted him to win it. I think he was overdue to win an Oscar, and this is where he was going to finally win. But now it looks like Kenneth Branagh is going to finally win, and I hate to say that. I'm not. I love Belfast. Don't get me wrong. I love Belfast. I just thought this year it was Paul Thomas Anderson's turn, but it turns out it's Kenneth Branagh's turn, and it's sad for me that I have to admit that. But Licorice Pizza is my backup in case, I mean, I'd be happy. I mean, if I was wrong here and Licorice Pizza did win, I'd be happy and sad at the same time because I didn't predict it because I'm changing my thing to Belfast. But I think it's Belfast. I think Kenneth Branagh is going to win. I know it sounds crazy because I've been on PTA all year.
I will specify by saying the year of Green Book, when it was nominated at WGA, it lost to 8th Grade. That is an actual great thing to note because also don't forget, why did Belfast lose at BAFTA? Why did Licorice Pizza overtake that? That's what really bugs me. I don't understand why the screenplay that everyone perceived that would win over there didn't.
I'll
Dan,
tell
you
you
had
the
your
reason
hand up.
why. I'll tell you the
Tell
reason
me.
why. Because they gave British film to Belfast, and they wanted to reward Kenneth Branagh that way, and they wanted to reward PTA the other way, and they gave him screenplay, gave Kenneth Branagh British film, and boom, they get to reward both of them. That's why they did it. If there was no British film and Kenneth Branagh was in the other category, and I put money that he would have won.
You do.
That's.
I mean, the other thing I think is probably more possible because I mean, I'm one of those ones that I always don't believe on the award shows being level. Well, I've got no doubt it may happen, but I think the other one is maybe original screenplay split over there, and which paved the way for Licorice Pizza to actually walk in between and just get that 1 or 2 votes more to put jump on them. So
I will say though, looking back, Vice did not win. However, The Big Short did win WGA. And don't forget, it went on to win the Oscar that year as well too for adapted screenplay. So I am nervous about Don't Look Up though winning ultimately. But again, I don't know. Wait a minute. Has WGA ever awarded Paul Thomas Anderson? Hold on.
I mean, the other thing to note is I think Belfast has been the front runner all season. It just wasn't eligible at the WGA, which is why it wasn't nominated in the first place.
This is right. This is true.
So, which is why ultimately I've still got Belfast sort of winning here.
Interesting. So, he has not won. He has not won a. Yeah, that's kind of shocking, honestly. He hasn't. Paul Thomas Anderson has not won an Oscar, or excuse me, not won a WGA award before. And they obviously like Adam McKay. Maybe that was the case. Although
this isn't his strongest screenplay, we can all agree that this isn't as strong. But it's the narrative of he hasn't won before, and that's why myself and a bunch of others we're pushing him to win. But now it looks like it's Kenneth Branagh's turn. So
yeah,
that's why I'm
going. Branagh hasn't won either.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those ones like because as I think Jeff Snyder said on there is like I personally don't always subscribe to the thing of like, it's someone's turn to win here. Or something. It's like, well, yes, it's nice to see some of these people actually get a win. The reality is sometimes some people just never win award, and it's more of an honor. It's more of an honor just to get nominated, in my opinion. So
yeah, no, you're right.
No, it's like, for some people it is. The reward is the nomination, Malcolm. You're 100% correct. But there are people that haven't won, and you scratch your head. How does Alfred Hitchcock not win a Best Director Oscar? And he directed like 59 films, like, and things like this. Like, yes, Kenneth Branagh has directed. He has been nominated 7 other times. This is like his 8th or 9th nomination. So he's in the same boat as PTA, where they're both nominated so many times and they haven't won. So one of them is going to finally win. So we're going to be okay. Great, Kenneth Branagh's got that. or PTA's got that, and then the next like, when is Kenneth Branagh going to win? When is Glenn Close going to win? When is Amy Adams going to win? Whatever,
And here's the thing: if he, I think if he wins for Belfast, it's well deserved. I just actually saw Belfast for the first time this week. I loved it. It's such a great movie.
It really is. I have nothing to get against
and I actually think Judi Dench deserved her nomination.
Over Katrina Balfe?
I wouldn't know who that is.
The mother.
The mother of the kids.
Yeah.
I can't agree with you there. No.
Right. Manning, you haven't really said much.
It might not be my last hot take.
Who are you picking, Manning? You didn't say much.
Guys, I haven't said much because I wanted to let you guys talk it out first because I don't have Belfast nor Licorice Pizza. I don't have Don't Look Up either. Guys, I'm going out on a limb and saying because I think they will want to award it because it has gotten so much love. Outside, it has gotten love from literally Olivia Rodrigo, one of the hottest commodities today. You look at those anonymous ballots, you know what they have in original screenplay? Majority of them, worst person in the world, guys. The worst person in the world. This is hope dicting. I'm really hope dicting this. Yeah. But I truly believe that if there is no clear winner, there is a possibility that the worst person in the world, hear me out, there is a possibility the worst person in the world can overtake both Belfast and Licorice Pizza if neither one of them are currently possibly out in front. And Don't Look Up also to say taking and siphoning votes. I think there's enough passion. Again, if you look at those small percentage of anonymous ballots, the worst person in the world got a lot of love, and they talked about how much they really liked it. And if it's getting a cultural zeitgeist, they might want to reward it somewhere.
Yeah,
just a possibility.
You make a good point.
I mean, it's one of those ones like I wouldn't hate if that happened, because the only reason I didn't consider putting that at the top is the fact it just hasn't won anywhere. That's the only
nominated
reason.
Anywhere is the thing.
I think it was nominated at WGA, wasn't it?
No. Nothing. It's gotten nothing so far. And that's why I think that it's doing well here, maybe because you haven't had anything to judge it with. It's the same argument we'll hear later as for Best Actress when people say Penelope Cruz has a shot. But she's on a lot of ballots, and I understand. But I think that there is just a big cultural thing of we want to reward it, but we can't give it international feature. This might be the place to do it. I could be wrong, and watch me. I'm probably going to switch it before. I'm probably going back to Licorice Pizza because that's my spoiler.
Let's move on.
Yeah. So, but that's what I think. I might be Licorice Pizza. We don't know. All right.
Best adapted screenplay. Best adapted screenplay.
All right.
Coda.
Wait, hold on. Wait, whose turn is it?
It's my turn.
Original screenplay.
I just read original screenplays.
It's mine. It's you.
It's your turn.
I'm about to say, wait a minute, hold on.
Go ahead then.
I think we started off going me, Dan, then you. Then somewhere along it changed to.
It was me. It was you, me, Dan. That's what it was. Anyway, here we go. Best adapted screenplay. We have Power of the Dog, Drive My Car, Dune, Coda, and The Lost Daughter. With a combination of WGA and BAFTA, as weird as WGA is this year, I have a Coda. It's kind of, I think, and we're going to get to this later.
I'm jumping off of Power of the Dog, Manning. I'm jumping off of Power of the Dog here, just like I did with Licorice Pizza and the other one. I'm going with Coda. I'm just jumping into the bandwagon, which is Coda. So I'm going with Coda. Are you going with Coda too, Manning? Is that it? Is that what you're going to say?
I have Coda. Yeah, I have Coda.
Yeah, me too.
But
yeah, Malcolm, what do you got?
I also have Coda. Look, this is one that I think Power of the Dog is the potential is definitely the spoiler here. Because I mean, the only reason Coda won WGA is because Power of the Dog wasn't eligible. So I don't know how that would have done if Power of the Dog was eligible. But it's one of those ones like Coda is picking up steam. And we'll get more into that when we get to Best Picture because I think. I mean, this is one. I think potentially either screenplay and picture line up, or one of them gets screenplay, the other gets picture. So, but yeah, I'm not going to say anything more on that because I don't want to spoil what I might have.
Sean Heder, I mean, you got to reward her for something, and maybe you reward her here instead of Jane Campion because you figure Jane Campion's got director locked up. So, well, let's give Sean Heder adapted screenplay, give Jane Campion director, then let everybody fight it out for picture. And that might be the way they go here. You don't know.
The other thing is Jane's already got an Oscar for adapted screenplay, but
Yeah,
for
she
the piano.
does.
So
Good point.
So that's the other reason why Coda could easily pull it, because people might see Jane Campion's like, well, she's got an Oscar, we'll give it to someone who doesn't have one. So
Yeah, and I will also add that she beat Jane Campion at BAFTA. Like, she wasn't there at WGA, but she beat her at BAFTA, which no one expected to do. And I think that kind of shows some strength of the Coda train, as we're going to get into in a second. And Josephine says, have you seen a Nas ballot votes for Licorice Pizza and Screenplay? I have, when I've checked a couple of them. The most that I'm seeing, it's kind of a weird mix of everything. There's Don't Look Up has appeared there. Like worst person. King Richard even appeared there. I saw in some of them, but it's been all over the place. I just noticed a lot of the worst person in the world. That's just a small percentage. Again, it's a weird small percentage, so don't put too much stock into it. I'm really going off of a gut feeling, and it's my no guts, no glory pick. The one that I'm like, you know what? We all get one. I'm going for it, and I'm ready to be wrong. But if it wins, so sweet, so sweet. All right, my spoiler is Power of the Dog. I agree, it's Coda. For best adapted screenplay, I totally foresee that happening. But
supporting actor.
Yeah, so that's you.
Yeah. So we got J.K. Simmons, Being the Ricardos, Jesse Plemons, The Power of the Dog, Kieran Hines, Belfast, Cody Smith-McPhee, The Power of the Dog, and Troy Kotzer, Coda. This is a lock at Troy Kotzer for Coda. I mean, forget about I was on the Cody Smith-McPhee train for a long time until all of a sudden, like in two in one night, Troy Kotzer got 2 in the same day a couple weekends ago, and I was like, well, forget about that.
No, I think SAG sealed the deal. When we saw that when we saw his acceptance speech, a beautiful acceptance speech. He's had an amazing acceptance speech every single time. Yeah, this is kind of Troy, and I don't see. I think this is one of the most assured acting wins of the night, just because of the momentum Coda has, and just because people love that performance. Malcolm, what about you?
Yeah, I've also got Troy Kotzer. Coda is most definitely the spoiler, though.
Agreed.
Because I think if there's potentially, if any of the 4 SAG winners don't win here, I think it's probably going to be in the supporting side of things. Although in saying that, there's at least one other acting winner I'd like to see happen. But we'll get to that in a few categories.
Wait. So what do you mean? So you just to clarify, you said that you feel like there's someone else that in supporting category you want to win more.
No. I feel like there's another category which had a SAG winner that could potentially lose, but I'm yeah.
Yes. Okay. No. Yes. No. We're on the same wavelength right there. Yeah. It's kind of, we're not gonna spend too much time on the supporting categories. So yeah, we're gonna move on to best supporting actress. Which now we're back to Malcolm.
Yep. So for supporting actress, we've got Ariana DeBose, Kristen Dunst, Anjanou Alice, Jessie Buckley, and Judi Dench. I think we all agree it's going to be Judi Dench.
No, she's the spoiler. You're right. No, she's the spoiler.
No, it's Ariana DeBose.
Yes,
for sure. She's won everything at this point. And I think the legit spoiler is probably Kirsten Dunst here, because I think she's really great in The Power of the Dog. And I think, once again, this supporting race has always been between Ariana and Kirsten, in my opinion. I think Andrew Alice has been sort of there, but I think it's one of those. I don't think she's a big enough name to go for people to sort of considered her,
Well,
but
I will preface this, well, not preface, but I will say that Ingenue Ellis did miss SAG, and I think that was like a telling thing to show that, oh, okay, she doesn't have as much support as we thought, or the movie didn't have as much support as we thought that we did. But DuBose has really she hasn't lost anything, has she?
nope.
She's steamrolled.
Yeah, even BAFTA she won, and that's like, you think, okay, this is an American movie about Americans and about American experience with dealing with people coming to our country, and she still won in England and in those countries.
Handily.
Yeah. So she's, forget about it.
And she's been leading critics as well too. So like, there's a big consensus. Like,
she's the gold standard of that movie. Whatever you want to say about whoever you want to say about whatever part of that movie, she is the gold standard of that movie. That role is the gold standard. It has won 60 years ago, and it's going to win again.
And it's going to win again when they do the third time. And it's going to happen again. It's a repeat cycle.
60 years later when they do it again.
Quick, just for fun. Josephine says my write-in vote for supporting actor is Anders Danielson Lee, who is also my write-in vote as well too, for worst person in the world. And my write-in vote for supporting actress is Toko Miura for Drive My Car. Great choice, by the way.
Good choice.
So I would have loved that. Do you guys have any quick write-in votes before we move on to the next category?
Well, Ben Affleck for best supporting actor, you know that.
Yeah, I know that. Malcolm, what about for you?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
All right. We only have 4 categories left. We have sped through this in a good time. So I am but we're gonna have some really fun discussions when we get to picture, because whoo boy, it's gonna get messy. Best actor. We'll speed through this next one because we all kind of know what's gonna happen. We got Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, Denzel Washington, Javier Bardem, and your winner, Will Smith. I mean,
it's his turn.
It's his turn. He's waited in line, and now he gets to slide down into the kiddie pool.
It's easy, Will Smith, but I think the spoiler here is Benedict Cumberbatch. Though I think if anyone is, I like Andrew Garfield and Tick Tick Boom, but I think he was nominated for the wrong movie in this. I think he was better in Tammy Faye. He should have at least had either 2 nominations here or be nominated for Tammy Faye over Tick Tick Boom.
Well,
I know it's going to be controversial, but it's what I feel.
Yes, but also he was campaign supporting, so he still could have made it. They could have taken out someone else, and he could have made it.
Yeah, that's what Malcolm's going at. 2 nominations, one in Best Actor, one in Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, duh. Yeah, you're right. They don't do double people.
He seemed to be a lead in Tammy Faye.
True. They campaigned him supporting though. So
yeah, the lead's Jessica, and he's the supporting, and Jamie Foxx did it, and I believe Leo did it in either back-to-back years or a couple separate years. But it's happened before with 2 people. When Kate Winslet did it. So it's happened before.
But in saying that, I think there was a year someone was nominated in supporting it is either SAG, but yet they were at the Oscars, they were lead.
Yeah,
there's also that as well.
I forget which year, who that was, but you're right.
It was Kate Winslet.
I'm pretty sure it was an actor. I can't remember. I have to go back through the acting things again. But
all right.
I'm not going to do.
I'm
not going to do it now because.
Oh, it's okay.
All
right. Best actress, Malcolm. What do we got? Wait, no, sorry. Dan, right?
Yep. Penelope Cruz, Parallel Mothers, Olivia Colman, The Lost Daughter, Kristen Stewart, Spencer, Nicole Kidman, Being the Ricardos, and Jessica Chastain, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I still curse Malcolm and Jeff Snyder that day. They made me change from Jessica Chastain at my SAG picks because I had her, and I was all on board for Jessica Chastain, and then I maybe switched to Nicole Kidman. But it's once again someone's turn, and it's Jessica Chastain's turn. She's going to do it. It's going to be the double makeup and hair design and Best Actress, just like Gary Oldman, Best Actor makeup. We've had Charlize Theron. We've had. This is just it's a tandem deal here. So and she deserves it because she's fantastic in this movie. And I love Kristen Stewart and I love Nicole Kidman, but it's just Jessica Chastain's turn this time around, and I'm glad to see we're going to get 4 different people that we've never gotten before. I love that when that happens.
First time winners.
Yep.
Your confidence in this is really giving me pause, Dan. But please go ahead, Malcolm. You were going to talk.
I mean, I've also gradually got Jessica Chastain here just because she's won everything so far. But that being said, the potential spoiler here is the one that wasn't even nominated for SAG, and that's Kristen Stewart. So I think she like, even though a lot of people seem to have forgotten about the movie Spencer, there's still a lot of people really going nuts over her nominations. So I think if anyone could spoil it, it's the one that wasn't nominated at the SAG, and that's Kristen Stewart. Because once again, even if she wins, it's still someone that was never won before. So I mean, either way you go.
Good point. You make a valid point. The others have all won before, except for Jessica Chastain, and she wasn't nominated for SAG. I think the reward for her this time around is the nomination. They just wanted to tell people, hey, she was fantastic in this movie. We're going to nominate her. But I don't think they're going to vote for her to win, and I think it's Chastain. But I agree with your narrative there, Malcolm. Manning, what do you think?
Now, that was the question I was going to really ask. Is that we discounted Penelope Cruz before. She got in with 0 precursors, and I mean 0. She got some critics, but she still made it in. And Sean, bless him, somehow got actress 5 for 5, and I don't know how he did it. But regardless, she made it in. And most of the podcasts that I've seen of people via, like, the IndieWire podcast or Variety, they busting their butts out there. They are getting campaigning, and Sony Pictures Classics make sure that that Penelope Cruz is great. And I have not seen Parallel Mothers just yet. It's one of the last ones I'm going to see. I'm trying to see it this weekend before the Oscars. I'm going to drop that 20. But like, I have Chastain. I do have Chastain because I'm not bold enough to do Cruz. But Cruz is my spoiler. Just from seeing some of those anonymous ballots, again, I'm not holding credence into this is one all end all be all, but she has been mentioned a lot. There was literally a segment in the ballot that said, I'm going to flip a coin for Chastain and Cruz, and landed on Chastain. So it's like, if it's that close with a lot of people, look out for Cruz. I still have Chastain, but I'm not going to bet against Cruz again after trying to dismiss it the first time.
I don't want to get into this too much, Manning, but I will tell you this. It just shows that the Academy watched Parallel Mothers, and they realized how good Penelope Cruz was, and they're like, we're nominating her. She's not going to win, but that's their way of saying, hey, don't mess with us. We know what the heck we're doing. We watch these movies, and that's why she got in there.
No, I agree. I'm very hesitant now, especially after it's, again, just from hearing the buzz from on the ground people in LA who actually have talked to Oscar voters. That's what's giving me pause, because it has been a lot of love for Parallel Mothers. And after doubting it the first time, I'm not going to sleep on it. I'm not going to jump from Chastain's ship, but I'm merely preparing myself for what will be, honestly, an unprecedented win. Because when does that happen where someone has made no precursors, has won nothing, and then decides to win at the very end? I don't know if that's ever happened.
I think it's the Antonio Banderas from what was a year or two ago. Yeah, it's the same nomination he got. He wasn't gonna win, but they want to show that Almodovar is a great director. He can direct actors, and he's directed those two to multiple nominations over the years.
Well, what I was going to say is, while Malcolm waits for his dogs to finish barking, is, oh, they're done. Never mind.
No, I muted my mic.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was about to say. I knew you waited. You were just like waiting for that to transpire. I know.
No, my dog wants everyone to know, don't count out Olivia Colman. She could put win.
Of course.
My dog's probably wild, but I think it's like, well, yes, it's one of those ones. I still think there's possibility for any of these two, and I think Jessica Chastain is clearly the front one. I think
Yes.
that's safe to say. Just from if you look at the momentum and all that, but as long as people don't automatically assume Jessica Chastain is going to win and move Best Actress to last, and then Nicole Kidman wins.
Oh, that's true. Remember when she was the front runner? Not anymore.
Director Malcolm.
Yep. So I was about to say. So now we finished Best Actress, Best Director. Malcolm, take us away.
Oh, good. Give me this one.
Yes, the easy ones.
For Best Director is Jane Campion, Ryusuke Hamaguchi, or as John Travolta will possibly say, something Hasaguchi.
Yes.
Kenneth
You would
Branagh,
totally do that.
Paul Thomas Anderson, and Steven Spielberg. Unless something crazy happens, it's easily Jane Campion's. Although I have seen some people say that that her speech at the critics might have got people voting against her.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I've seen that
because
too.
Because I think it's one of those. Because I think there was still about 2 days. There's still some voting time left after the critics and that.
Yeah.
So, but I think the spoiler here is probably going to be Paul Thomas Anderson, if anything. But it's at this stage, all the other four are kind of around the same. Like Jane Campion's won everything, so
Yes.
that's how I do. I think I have no idea who the spoiler is really.
I will completely say that this and visual effects to me are like the most certain wins of the night. I don't know how, especially after she's won everything, she would lose this now. That would be unprecedented in and of itself, but it's Jane Campion. It is the most assured win for Power of the Dog of the night. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, I got Jane Campion. She's just going to get revenge on Spielberg, just like Will Smith is going to get revenge on Denzel. And it's just wonderful sometimes how these things come back over years later.
I know, right?
You see these interesting things happen years later, But yeah, it's Jane Campion's year. I don't think that speech is going to cost her. And I actually like the speech. I know some people didn't like the speech. I actually like the speech, but there you go.
Well, I think it was a case of the controversial stuff sort of near the end of it, with what she said to the Williams sisters and all that. I think that's where the controversy kind of lies. Not so much about the entire speech. I think it was just that little bit at the end where they've.
Mm-hmm. Well, regardless, we are here at the very end. Best Picture with 15 minutes still to go before we hit our mark. Best Picture, what was once to me the Power of the Dog until literally about a week ago when PGA announced their winners. That's what made me make the change. And I currently have... Oh, first off, let me tell you what the nominations are. That's a little rude of me if I just do that. All right. Quickly. My winners. Excuse me. The nominees are, in no particular order: Drive My Car, Dune, Don't Look Up, Belfast, Power of the Dog, Coda, West Side Story, King Richard, Nightmare Alley, and Licorice Pizza. Out of these 10, out of the first 10 we've had in a long time, straight 10, I think Coda is going to prevail with a last-minute boost in momentum, come in and sweep it from what we thought was the presumed front runner in Power of the Dog. But Dan, where are you right now?
I was on Power of the Dog all year long. Way back in August, September, October, we're like, oh, Belfast. We hadn't seen Belfast yet, and then all of a sudden, once we saw Belfast, it was like, oh wow, what a great movie. Then all of a sudden, we all saw, at least I did, I saw Power of the Dog. Like, oh, this is the winner. This is gonna win. This is a great movie. it's got all these crafts, it's got all this stuff, it's got good performances. Power of the Dog is going to win. I don't know how a little movie from 2 Sundance film festivals ago that Manning saw and I didn't see because
I love how you're never gonna let that go, and I love it.
opening day film of Sundance that year, like an idiot. You should always see the opening day film because that's usually 9 out of 10
the
times
best.
the best film. But I ended up seeing in August, so I saw it relatively early. And no one was talking about, it's a cute movie. It's this warm movie. It's this nice. It's got this underrepresented group. It's okay. And all of a sudden, a year and a half later, a year and 2 months later, we're almost in April. We're going to be March 27th. A year and 2 months later, 12 months, 14 months later, people are like, Coda. It's like, how did this happen? How did this get from behind, way behind, and catch up and then take the lead? And once that Producers Guild came in, which I was shocked that one Producers Guild, I was like, well, it's undeniable. You have to pick Coda. It's undeniable now. You have to pick it. And I did not want to pick Coda. I watched it last weekend or the weekend of a couple of those award shows where we had the 2 award shows, one early in the day, one. I watched it and I cried when that song is singing and she's singing and I'm sitting there and I'm crying at this movie once again because I cried way back in August. And it's like, this is gonna win Best Picture.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I kind of came to the realization it's gonna win. And I'm just flabbergasted that it could do this. Look up the stat. How many January movies have ever won Best Picture at the Academy Awards? We're at the 96th.
Very few.
A movie that came out in January is gonna win.
Technically August, but premiered in January. Technically.
It came out in August. I
Technically,
saw it in August. You saw it in August. A lot of people saw it in January. So there you go. It technically came out in January. But Coda. If Power of the Dog wins this, I'd be so happy because I've had it all year. But I jumped off the bandwagon of Power of the Dog and I'm going.
He did. Malcolm.
Well, I mean, as people would say, when it comes to release dates is for when everyone is able to see it. So, I mean, August is the official date it was released. Yes, it was out at Sundance in January. August is when everyone was able to see it.
So I guess the premiere was in January. The premiere was in January. The release date.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's one of those ones because it's why when it comes to trivia, we always stick with the wide release date when everyone is able to see it as the answer to movie release date questions, because there's so many movies out there which is skewed because of the award show premiere, not award, film festival premieres, because I think even Vendetta is one because it had a one showing at the Butt Numberphone thing the year before actually came out for everyone.
Sometimes movies come out in other countries too, Malcolm. So you're
That's
right.
true. You're right. So, but Malcolm,
anyway, look, I ultimately went with Coda in this, but I'm still sort of flip-flopping on this because I think because Power of the Dog is easily the spoiler here, because I think I think it's pretty still pretty close to cool at this point, because with the way the voting for Best Picture goes, anything is possible, because who knows how many first place votes Power Dog actually has versus Coda. Because I mean, Power Dog, for all we know, could still have 50% first place votes, and that means it wins.
Malcolm, I just want to interrupt you there, and I try not to interrupt you too much, because I'm getting better at that. I feel, and this is just my opinion, that I think you're going to see a lot more Coda 1, 2, 3 votes, and you're going to see then you will see Power of the Dog. You'll see a lot of 1 votes and a lot of 8, 9, 10 votes for Power of the Dog. And that's where I think Coda is going to overtake Power of the Dog, because they'll have a lot of 1, 2, 3s, where Power of the Dog's got a lot of 1s, but a lot of 8, 9, 10s. And I just
know.
real quick, if Dune won this and it was its 7th or 8th win, I would be freaking ecstatic, because I love Dune. It was my favorite movie of the year. So I just wanted to say that. Malcolm, go ahead.
I mean, Dune was nowhere near my top 10 of the
I
year.
know.
Coda and Power of the Dog were miles ahead of Dune, much easily.
I will add, unless you actually you finish your thought, Malcolm.
I mean, I think Dune is a big blockbuster nominee here, but I don't think it's going to win.
I know it's not, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's my number 1 of the year, and I just want to get that 2 cents out there.
Well, don't spoil that just yet until we do our top 10 in 2
Oh,
more episodes.
I put my top 10 out.
I know you have, but oh well. I haven't revealed mine just yet. I'm waiting, so you guys don't know.
I revealed my top 10 at the start of the year, but with the way we do it, when we do it for the Oscar eligible year, which is from March to that, it's a lot different than what it was at the start of the year.
Yes, it
plus
was.
now they managed to actually see some of the other movies too. So
lovely. No, I have Coda at this point. PGA again put me over the edge, but it's so weird because all I have Power of the Dog being a lone director winner.
That's weird.
It's pulling it is. Like, do you guys have Power of the Dog anywhere besides director?
1 for 12.
No, but I think
it's second in a lot. It's second in a lot of things, but
it's so
not
weird though.
First in a lot of things.
But it feels so wrong and weird. Yeah. Like,
it is weird.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Who knows how it's going to happen on the actual night?
Yeah,
of course. 12
nominations, 12 different categories it's nominated in, and for the fact of the matter is, if it gets the one for Jane Campion, it'd be crazy that it only comes away with 1 win, and that's where that best picture, you say to yourself, it's hand in hand, best director, best picture. Well, we've seen that split up a bunch over the last 10, 15 years. So that's not hand in hand anymore.
No.
So,
I mean, it's one of those ones, because I think because it always annoys me when I see like people predicting, go, well, X movie needs to win this to win Best Picture. I think the days of that are over. I think this is a case of anything can happen. Really,
you're not wrong.
Because I've always been of the opinion that because I think there was a day when people said if it wins Best Editing, it's winning Best Picture. Or
there was a correlation of it had to be nominated for editing. That was the thing, and that's why people were like, "Oh, Coda's not nominated," but look, here we are.
We can predict Coda, though, guys, to win all 3 of its nominations. That's what you're basically getting at here.
Well, here's the thing. I don't see if Coda's winning. Okay, Coda and Power of the Dog both have 1 on the night. They're absolutely getting. Coda is getting supporting actor. Power of the Dog is getting Jane Campion and director. Those are locks. We all know that's going to be happening. They're fighting over screenplay and picture right now. I don't know. Can one of them win the other? Like, for instance, I don't see Power of the Dog winning screenplay and then losing picture. And that would mean that the Coda would win only win supporting actor only and then picture. I feel like there'd be a correlation between them, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones because I was listening to our good friends over at Critically Acclaimed, and on one of their mailbag episodes, they were talking about because people were talking about the correlate of how did Dune get into Best Picture, but Villeneuve not get into Best Director, and they kind of made the case like picture is taking in everything into account, like screenplay, acting, directing, and all that. directing is just directing. And it's one of those ones like I can see like either Dakota or Power Dog winning screenplay and then the other one getting picture because the way I see it is if say Power Dog wins screenplay, Coda wins best picture, they're awarding it because they're giving the actual win for screenplay to Power Dog, but they're telling Coda, we enjoyed your screenplay too. We just enjoyed everything else of your movie as well. So
This would be a Spotlight if Coda did that. And Spotlight had editing nomination and a screenplay win under its belt, and lots of acting and a director. I'm over here. No, sorry, it did not have director. Apologies, no nomination for director.
yeah.
It just.
I mean, there's been cases of movies being nominated for 10 or more nominations and not winning anything. Like, look at Gangs of New York, for instance. Like, that was nominated for 10 and that won nothing.
Yep.
The Irishman, like a few years ago.
Yep.
Two American Hustle.
Yep.
And I think the turning from a lot of the 80s or something.
Turning Point. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think that was nominated for 11 or something. Yeah.
Well, I know we have to wrap up here now, so we're gonna wrap up with like.
No, if you got something to say it. We got time.
No, that's what I mean. We're wrapping up now because we're going to. Well, I'm gonna say I know you have to go to work, and I want to be respectful of that. But I was going to add is that with a final thing, we're not going to stay here and give our outros and leave. I want us to finally just kind of say we all agree the spoiler is the power of the dog, correct?
Yes.
And we all agree that on our predictions right now, we only have Jane Campion being the sole representation in director for Power of the Dog.
Yes.
What is the possibility? Do you think the possibility is greater that Power of the Dog wins picture or adapted screenplay or both?
Well, you got to say, are you going to give Jane Campion 3? That's the thing. Are you going to give Jane Campion 3? If you're going to give Jane Campion 3, that's a surprise to me. That would be surprising. I would say you give her 2, picture and director. That makes more sense. And then Sean Hayter still gets one for screenplay, and Troy Kotzer gets one for best supporting actor. So, and they get 2. Then, yeah, it's not. I admit it's not the more glamorous 2, but your little film, still got 2 Oscars. You know.
I mean, you can argue that Jane Campion's getting 3 either way, which way, because she's a producer on Power Dog, and I think the Oscar to the movie goes to the producers. Am I right?
Yes,
I said that. Well, I mean,
so either way,
she gets. If she gets,
well, I thought you meant 3 in Lifetime. Never mind.
No, she would win. I just don't think they give Jane Campion 3 this year. I just think Sean Hayter will get one either way, as involved with the best picture winner, Coda, or screenplay, and then Jane Campion will get director, picture. That's how it's going to go. I don't see Coda winning all 3. If it does win all 3,
but
that's crazy.
We're all predicting Coda winning all 3 right now. I just don't know what to change. That's the thing.
It's hard to change it. But I'm going to have to go with that, I guess.
Yes.
No, oh wait, no, no.
Does Belfast win in the last minute, like coming out of nowhere? Is the third like, haha?
No. You're right, Belfast. But that's going to be one, I think, to keep an eye on for the 1, 2, 3 votes. Those.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to have a lot of 1, 2, 3 votes. Belfast is.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, it's definitely one of those, like, I mean, because for all we know, like, Coda and Power Dog could easily somewhat split, and then Don't Look Up comes out for the middle.
No way. No way. Stop it. No, stop it. No, don't mention Don't Look Up. No.
It's too late. I've already have
You have. It's too late. Don't mention up. Don't look up. Don't look it
the
up.
voting's over. The Academy's not going to be watching us and think, we're going to do this
Darn.
just to make Malcolm right.
We're gonna do it for Malcolm's. All right. So where's our final tally? Right now, I have Dune with 5, Coda with 3, Tammy Faye with 2, King Richard with 2, and Power of the Dog with a single 1. Those are my multiple wins. There's some other ones too, but like those are the multiple wins that I have right now. Again, Dune with 5, Coda with 3, Tammy Faye with 2, King Richard with 2. Wait, I think we're all in agreement. Wait, are we all in agreement when it comes to that?
I thought I had 6 for Dune.
I think
You're right.
Dan had Dune. I think Dan had Dune in one more than
Editing.
me.
Editing is where we
Yeah,
all were in a different category, which I love.
Yeah, you're right.
I love we were all in a different thing.
and I mean, I had Dune 4, but I still had Dune with the most wins. So,
And I had Dune with 5 with the most wins. So 6, 5, and 4. We will see. One of us is going to be right. We just don't know which one. It's just, again, it's a matter of how many.
what if Dune misses is the gangs in York, and this time it misses
There is no
misses
way.
all of them?
No way.
It went effects in a walk.
It'll be
No
funny
way.
if it'll be funny if Doom misses all and Coda ends up being the one that wins the most at the Oscars.
That would be really weird. 3 is the max. Woo, can you believe that? No, it's going to pull a Mad Max Fury Road, Dune. I'm going to call that now.
I think
all
you're
right.
right. I think you're right on point there. Even though I got it winning 6 or possibly 7, I think you're right. 5's a safe number for Dune.
5 is a very safe number.
I mean, Dune is definitely the Mad Max Fury Road of this year.
It is.
That's all I'm saying on that.
There you go. Oh Lord, I don't want to know your take on Mad Max Fury Road. But anyway, so again, these are not our final predictions. We have until Sunday to make those changes. I'm making those. I'm gonna make some changes to this now that I'm looking at it because
you gotta stick
come
by
on.
these. You gotta stick.
No,
by
listen.
These. We're on air. We're on air.
No. Screenplay. You know what? All right, then fine. You know what? I'm not comfortable with this line of questioning. I'm switching Coda and from Best Picture and going with Power of the Dog. Okay, God. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it.
All right.
I'm gonna do it. So I have Power of the Dog winning 2 in the night. You know what? You hear it right now. Again, changes might come. We don't know, but that's my big change I'm making right now. I'm not confident with it in the slightest, but here we go. Dan, what is out of all these we've mentioned, what is your no guts, no glory, and where can the people find you?
I mean, I would love to see Dune win 7 Oscars, and Best Picture would be like an absolute miracle to go with the other below the line categories. That would be like, wow. That would be awesome. I would love to see it. It's not going to happen. I just think if it gets into editing, that'd be huge. You know, add to its tally. But yeah, you can always find me at Dan Skipbound on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Also, I'm a film critic in Orlando, Florida. I write for a website called disappointmentmedia.com where I do all kinds of stuff: TV shows, retrospectives, anniversaries, of course, new movies. And if I'm not writing for them, I'm writing on my own blog, fromthefourthrow.wordpress.com. And so anything that's a lot of things that are coming out. I got some really good movies. I got the new Everything Everywhere All at Once coming up, review for that. I got the new Dumbledore coming up. I got the new Nicolas Cage movie coming up. I got the new Sonic movie. I got Julia that's out now. I got the new I got some really good Moon Knight. I got my Moon Knight review coming up soon. So just stay tuned on those 2 places. You're going to be able to find me. And I do have one YouTube show that's on hiatus right now. It's called Bleacher Features, which hopefully will get going here pretty soon.
Fantastic. And yeah, editing is your no guts, no glory, because Dune hasn't won anything, but it still absolutely can. That's a good pick. All right. So Malcolm, where can they find you, and what's your no guts, no glory pick?
You can find me on Take 3 Productions, where I host Rankum every Saturday. Tomorrow we're talking about Ryan Reynolds' movies, who wasn't nominated at the Oscars, but why not?
His movie was.
Yeah. But my no guts, no glory pick is Space Jam: A New Legacy is going to win Worst Picture at the Razzies.
No, well, okay. Besides that, come on, what's your Oscar pick?
I honestly don't really have a no guts, no glory for the Oscars. I think mine's pretty safe, to be honest.
I think West Side Story and Sound, that's a no guts, no glory pick. That's a big one because most people have Dune.
Well, I haven't decided if I'm sticking with that. To
Oh,
be honest
okay.
yet.
Well, never mind.
I mean, if you're going to force me to pick a no guts, no glory, it's Dos Oyeguita's winning best song over No Time to Die.
There you go. Good one. That's a good one. And then, of course, my no guts, no glory is The Worst Person in the World, an original screenplay. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to regret this, aren't I? But here we go. I have a narrative in my head. We'll see if it sticks the landing. And you can find me on WFMY News 2, where I am a film critic for the state of North Carolina. You can find me there writing my reviews. This coming Monday, you will have a review for Drive My Car. Maybe fresh hot off of its win for Best International Feature. Knock on wood. I would love that. It's my favorite film of last year. And join us again next week here on Take 3 Productions, as well as Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, all of that here for the next episode of Gone with the Wind, the 100th episode where we will react to the nominations. And you can find me, of course, on my YouTube channel, Manning Franks, and Twitter at Cine_man. That's CINE_MANN. And we did this in 2 hours and 1 minute. So close to hitting that 2-hour mark. Thank you guys for listening. And may the odds be ever in your favor. Good luck to all. I can't believe I just changed the power of the dog. I'm going to regret this so much.